Nah, I don't even like 2 offensive coordinators been fired this season, and both of them Matt Eberflus hired. That's nuts.
And he's still here.
8 people he done fired in the last 14 months.
HR violations.
This guy's a bad judge of character. I've never seen a worse employee. He got worse turnover than Tech. God dang.
You're lying. That's a good point.
Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Of course, we got the pettiest man alive in the building, P Kid, and Mr. Media himself, George JC.
What's up?
Oh, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, Jordan, as soon as we get off the morning breeze, I told you they watch. I told you
that's
they
happened
watch.
Twice now.
They were like, all right, and the show's done. Fire is pumpkin.
Come on, man.
Oh, the Chicago Bears have fired Shane Waldron, but will it bring real change? That is the question on the table today. Can the Bears turn their season around after moving on from Waldron? How does Flus keep surviving? Fam, this is sacrificial ritual stuff at this point, bro. Like, the Illuminati's got to be involved here.
That man's a cockroach.
I don't know how Flus keeps surviving. We got to break that down. And also,
I don't know if the cockroach survives everying.
Yeah, oh no, it's just the way you said it. There's this wait a minute.
Was there too much space between
cockroach? I didn't say.
Was there
what I said?
Did he have a little bit too much space between
trying to get me? Don't you?
My bad. There's a flag around here somewhere.
Really missed that roach part on there, did he?
Oh,
but no, and then finally, we got the report from Marc Silverman that some players around the facility could do without Caleb Williams starting right now. We'll talk about all that more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
Push the button. Heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button. This part I really want to add in there. I just know it'll get us in so much trouble. But no, man, appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Who up in here? Don Quixote in the chat. Nova in the building. Shane O'Mac with a year. Shout out Shane O'Mac the Mac. Oh, man. I mean, listen. It can't get any worse than this, boys. Maybe I should stop saying that because it seems to always get worse than this. But
yes, sir. Please.
9 games into the season. 9 games into the season. Matt Eberflus Ryan Poles 3 weeks ago said that this was a team that was understanding winning, was understanding the operation, was understanding how to handle the pressure. Mm-hmm. This was in Jacksonville where we saw a game that I don't know if we've seen out of a Chicago Bears offense. And then on 3 weeks, in 3 weeks, we're talking about firing the offensive coordinator and how this may be the biggest malpractice that a GM has put a young quarterback through since Justin Fields.
since the last time.
Let me not be a little. Maybe Bryce Young. Bryce Young got some malpractice going on down there as well. We gotta talk about all that and more in today's episode, man. Boys, listen. Does the Waldron move do anything for you? Does firing Shane Waldron change anything in this organization in your mind? Because to me, you made a move. Good job. You made a move on pulling the Band-Aid off, but only halfway. Because if you're going to fire the first offensive coordinator mid-season of all time, why not just pull this Band-Aid fully off? We know where this all comes from. We know where this all stems from. Everything about what the Bears have done this season to Caleb Williams it's good enough. This is good enough. Offensive line, good enough. We don't want you making those aggressive throws. We don't want you trying to fire the football in there. It's good enough. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're not turning the football over. Good enough. It's not good enough. Enough is enough. That's where I'm at with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't do anything for me. Listen, I'm not saying that Thomas Brown can't come in here and make a change, make an impact, but how much is he going to be allowed to impact this? How much was Shane Waldron? Shane Waldron last season, while he was not a phenomenal offensive coordinator, he was literally one of the worst people we've ever seen in this building. And that's coming off the heels of Luke Getsy.
I don't think he was that bad.
And going, hey,
No,
wait a minute. Everyone who comes in this building dies.
Oh yeah.
Everyone who puts on a Chicago Bears hat becomes an absolute moron offensively. I think Joel's right. I think literally they just like bring out like this tome of Bears. You will call the T formation. This is the only playbook you're allowed to run. This playbook has been passed down from generation to generation. First play, T formation. Second play, the defense takes the football away and scores touchdowns. That's it. That's the full offense.
You must follow these plays.
You got Palpatine as the owner of the Bears.
That's how it feels at this point, dog. Do you feel like firing Shane Waldron brings change to this season? Can the Bears turn the season around?
I think it does. I think it does for two reasons. One, it seemed as if some of the players had already, voiced their displeasure with Shane. And when it's all about keeping the locker room intact. Like, I understand the record is what it is, and this is going to get into some Eberflus speak. The record is what it is. We're here. Right.
No, don't you say that.
We are here, right? This is us. We're here.
We are our record. We're our record. We are our record.
Hey, listen, at the same time, as much as we love to like clown those buzzwords, it's the truth. It is what it is. If the players are complaining about it, they're not working in sync. It's disjointed. No one knows what's going on downfield. It does seem like a very Luke Getsy situation down there. Then you pull the plug on it. The Bears are not going to fire a head coach in the middle of the season. They seem to be sticking with that. Fine. I fully expect Flus to be gone at the end of the season. Now, totally getting rid of your HC and your OC at the same time, I can see that being a big deal. But your OC have to go regardless. And so this starts the thing of, hey, let me stop my QB from regressing. Let's dumb this down a little bit. Hey, Caleb, great that you could sit there and change plays at the line and stuff like that. You may have done the right thing, but we ain't there yet. So guess what? Let's dumb this down a little bit. Let's do, like you said, Pat, keep it simple. Just do simple. Let's just do the simple stuff well. Let's get back to the fundamentals. And that's what I'm expecting Brown to do. I'm not expecting Brown to come in and try to reinvent the wheel. Let's just establish the fact that we have a wheel here. All right. Let's just do that. Let's just get back to the fact that we have a wheel.
Are we riding on the rim?
That's it. Yeah. And let's just move this thing that way, not this way. That's all we need to do. And that's what I'm expecting Brown to come in and do. I'm not expecting anything more, but to actually allow this kid to get back to just playing football. Let's just play football. We'll live with the results. Let's just play football, and things will start to work itself out. And you kind of have to do that. So that's what I think will change. Now, long term, no, I don't think Waldron was the only culprit here. I don't think that it's all on him. And I do think that this is a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. I do believe that. But it's better to not have than not having a Band-Aid at all. And so I can see the logic in doing it and trying to save that aspect of Caleb's season.
Yeah. Can this bring about change? I mean, my opinion is I feel like this is bringing about a facade or an illusion of change as of right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure they knew that they had to do something. You're not getting rid of your head coach, like PK said, for the entirety of the season, which is moronic, but that's the way this organization runs their business. So you had to get another scapegoat in there, and Shane Waldron, who again deserves to be fired. He's not just he does deserve to be fired, but I mean, you didn't complete the firing. You should have completed the firing by firing both your head coach and your OC. But they go about things in that kind of way where it's like, okay, well, let's give this guy that has the worst record in the organization another chance to pick somebody else to be the guy that's running this offense. That's the word. That's the insanity part, is that you're doing the same thing over and over, allowing the guy that has no idea what offense is and is a defensive coordinator at heart to pick the next guy for the offensive schemes. And so that's my problem is it's running back that carousel in a sense. Obviously the players voiced that, they wanted Shane Waldron gone. So that is a positive. You're going in the right direction with that because, if you want to kind of improve this locker room, if you want to improve, the respect level, towards whoever the leaders and if they respect Thomas Brown. I looked at some video. I do like the way he kind of goes about his business. But again, that's up in the air. We will see. Because now you're stepping into a role. You were interviewed for the OC role here. So, like we said jokingly, maybe that was always the backup plan, got an OC to back up the OC. So we'll see. It to me, it's just, again, like you said, a covering over a bullet wound. You should have gotten rid of the real problem, which is the coach. But we knew that this was going to happen the way it happened.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think this is organizational at this point. You can't tell me that we're literally, this is turning into, outside of Ryan Pace, this is literally turning into Matt Nagy and Phil Emery, and you're not going after offensive linemen. You're not protecting a quarterback. You're letting the quarterback get killed. Everything else around him's falling. And then you go, but you should develop. You should figure it out. That's already happening 10 games in. I'm sitting here debating with people who are like, well, Caleb Williams has to be better. And it's like, yes, I agree that Caleb Williams has to be better. Caleb Williams also has gotten his head taken off fairly consistently this season. Are there sacks that are on him? Sure. When guys start to process slower, when they start to get killed. And that's the part that I don't know if it changes. Because at the end of the day, Luke Getsy comes in and Shane Waldron looks the exact same as Shane Waldron comes in and looks the exact same as Luke Getsy. But that's not how things started. They just seem to always get there. Matt Eberflus comes in and looks the exact same as Matt Nagy, but that's not how things started. It just seems to always get there. This is a systemic thing to me. And that's why my concern is like, listen, for this season, can you win some games? Maybe you can. Maybe you are able to find a way to get this offense moving in the right direction. But that's scary to me. Because if you get the 9 wins, I see a scenario where Matt Eberflus is back. I see a scenario where they look at it and go, yeah, he improved. He had to make a move at the offensive coordinator position. He had to go out and, find his guy. He had to put the right guy in the position to be successful. He got the most out of Caleb. And you know what? We got to bring him back. We don't want to have an organizational shift like that. I said shift, SHIFT.
There you go. All right.
F.
But like I can't sit here and tell you that I can guarantee that if he figures this out, it changes. That's the part that's scary about this.
Yeah, none of that's a guarantee. You can't guarantee any of it. You really can't. But I will say this. We've been in a space where we've always lacked we've never as a fan base have had the opportunity to say at least they're trying, right? Because they stick with people too long, stuff like that. This was one of those things where you can at least say they're trying. I will say I am very concerned and disheartened that we haven't had more people hold Poles accountable, and he hasn't said anything. That to me feels very Ryan Pace like. Remember Ryan Pace hiding from the media,
hiding behind the door.
Ryan Poles talks every week.
Ain't nobody pressing him like they should.
Ryan Poles talks every single week. He talks with Jeff Joniak on ESPN 1000 every single week before the game. That's how I know. Like it's quickly just going in the wrong direction. They don't shy away from asking them about the changes that they've made. It's just it's not that we're not holding them accountable. It's just that people are. It's a weird situation. You almost don't know what to do because you can't say he hasn't improved the team. But then it's like, to what end? To what limit? You go out and you get the number 1 overall quarterback. You go out and get the shiny new toy and you give him a turd to run through.
Did he just rebuild what Nagy had in 2018?
No, because I think that the team is.
We had a good defense.
I think that the team is in the 2018 spot. You couldn't see a future, and that's why I'm not out on Poles. That's why I'm not fire Poles. That's why I'm not, because with what Ryan Pace did, there was no future. It was win or it's over. Like win or everybody is getting fired. Like By the time you drafted Justin Fields, it was done. But at least with Ryan Poles, there is draft capital. There is money that you can still spend heading into next season. He has structured contracts in a way that I think are favorable for the Chicago Bears so that they can still have some money to allocate towards this offensive line. The concerning part is you haven't addressed it. The concerning part is I got to watch a quarterback who's up in Washington go out there and ball out with a starting center who you could have signed 3 years, $30 million in Tyler Biazza.
Yeah.
The concerning part is that I gotta sit here and watch a center be wasted up in Cleveland on Jameis Winston because you didn't want to go out and take a chance on a guy that maybe had some injury issues. By the way, every dude you draft has injury issues. By the way, you keep trading for guys who have injury issues. By the way, you signed a guy to a 3-year, $30 million deal who's been gone for the entire 3 years of it because he's had injury issues outside of 1 year. I get 1 year. I still get 1 year. Like, my concern is that you felt that going out and getting the 1 year starting center for $3 million was good enough. My concern is that you thought trading a 5th for Ryan Bates was good enough. A backup right guard in this NFL was good enough for your rookie quarterback.
Man, I so want to understand that.
Well,
I get
I
the
do.
weapons.
I want to
Like,
understand the ins and outs of that.
no, it's the overconfidence. Pose was overconfident. We know that, and I joke about it. He picked 4th round. He picked a punter in the 4th round. He picked a wide receiver at 9th. He could have went a million different ways in the draft to address offensive line. He got cute. He got confident and cute because we praised him for all the moves he did make, including the fleecing of Carolina. And then afterwards, getting so many other different pieces that we looked like, oh man, this offense is about to be a juggernaut. But you just didn't, you overlooked the skill level of the 5 fat guys up front.
Yeah.
You just said, oh, we just can put anybody up front. Caleb's going to just, cover over all of those wrongs. And we're seeing that not happen.
That's the question I have. And again, I'm not, this may be hypothetical. I mean, or rhetorical at this point, but like, because we don't really know, the one thing we can definitively say is you whiffed on not getting one in a draft. But that's we definitively can say that. You had that option.
You in the draft possibly.
Yeah, you controlled that situation. No one has to agree. No one has to do business with you. You controlled who you draft and who's available at that position. At 9, you have people there. You even had the option to trade back from 9. I still think picking Caleb was the right move. I know many people in the chat don't agree.
Picking Rome, you mean?
No, I mean I think it was good to pick
keeping
Caleb at 1.
Picking
Caleb at 1, not trading back. I agree with all of that. But at 9 or picking Rome, you could have traded back and stuff like that. Those are things that I think could have happened. But as far as the deals that were made for linemen, some linemen were moved even last week. I want to know if we tried. I want to know if there were conversations had and people just said no. Like I really want to know that because that type of information changes how we look at polls.
Well, we know that we know that's how the Bears operate. We know for a fact when the better head coach came available, you can't say he's not a better head coach. He's been to Super Bowls in the NFL, whether you thought the league passed him by or what. A better head coach was available, and they didn't pick up the phone to talk to him and Jim Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. That's how they operate.
But for players, though? For linemen?
Does it look different for players? Does it look different for players?
I don't know. That's the question for
me. When
you
look at the players that are on this team, do they go after the best players? When you look at the linemen that are on this team, do they go after the best linemen? Montez Sweat was not viewed as one of the best defensive linemen in the game. It's a move that hit. Ryan Poles evaluated something, saw something, and got the best out of it. Boom. He also went after Chase Claypool.
9.5 to 10 sacks a season. I think he was.
But you got guys that get almost twice that.
At that point, he was around 8 to 9 sacks a season, which is a solid player. It's not. I'm not saying it's not a solid player. You knew if you traded for him, at worst, you got a solid player.
If he was 12, 13, that's a pretty big name for sacks.
No, he was 12 with us. He had 6.5 sacks.
Yeah, he split in Washington. Split here. Yeah.
But before that, he was a 7 to 8 sack per season guy.
Prior.
You know what I mean? And which isn't bad. We didn't have a guy that could get 8 to 9 sacks in a season. But my point is that You took a chance on a guy to say, hey, I think this guy has a higher ceiling. I think we can get the most out of him. And so let's take a chance here. So far, I would say that I would agree with that move. I know that he's had a little bit of a step back this season, but I still see the pressure. I still see him getting around the quarterback. I want to see him getting home more. People are more focused on him. You don't have a pass rusher opposite of him. Sometimes those things happen. I'm not losing my mind over that. That's like when people were losing their mind over Khalil Mack not getting nearly as many sacks here, and they were like, he sucks. It's over. And I'm like, he don't suck. It's just nobody opposite of him. Well, that's not an excuse. And then he goes over. I don't think he's not had a double-digit sack season since he's been in LA. But
that's crazy.
The
football though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a Bosa on the other side of you for part of the season at least. But I think when you look at the players on this team, you don't see the big money guys. You went after Chase Claypool with that other second round pick. You were going for Hope. You went after even some of the guys that you drafted. You go out and get Karan Amagaji. You're going for Hope. You draft Braxton Jones in the 5th. Although with the 5th, I'm fine with it, right? You burning it. Yeah, but you're saying we hope that this guy can be more. And you always had plans of putting him out there.
He's already peaked.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think that Ryan Poles tries to find the best bargain, which is not a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing. And you need to know when you don't need to bargain. I'm fine with you finding the bargain, guys. Braxton Jones is not a bad pick.
No, it wasn't.
Braxton Jones is a good pick. Karan Amagaji right now with your third round pick, who hasn't been able to play all season, who hasn't been healthy at all, who came into the season unhealthy, that's a bad pick, at least right now. Can he bounce back? Can he be more sure? But why are we drafting guys who are hurt out of small schools? If you were going to draft a dude that was hurt and you wanted to go get a wide receiver, I just saw John Mechie III finally figure it out.
Killing. He is killing.
You know what I mean? Like let's go get dudes that have made an impact on the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's my thing. I can look at the players just like I can look at Kevin Warren, and why that report yesterday was that this morning we talked about that this morning that me and JC were talking about, where the Bears aren't going out to get big name coaches in the offseason because they want a stronger front office that's going to control everything. I see that in the players. I see that in the guys that you go get.
Not to play devil's advocate here, but like, can you see the logic in how well we are set up to actually go big game hunting next season? Like, realistically, you have DJ Moore locked up. You have Caleb locked up. You have Rome locked up. Cole Kmet's locked up. You still get a 4th if Keenan Allen moves on. You still have your picks. Like, realistically, and we still have cap space. Like, realistically, all the woes that we have from a GM's perspective, you can actually go out there and take some big swings and clear up by next season. It's just making it through this one, obviously, that we're concerned about. Like, is there logic there? Because, like, he's still in a very favorable position to do the exact same thing we're complaining about. Like, he has the ability to go do it now.
Here's your problem. You're starting centers in the NFL right now. If you want to go big game hunting, Ryan Kelly's 31 years old. He's making $12 million a year. They're not going to go to that price for a 32-year-old player. He'll be 32 by the time the season starts. Connor Williams will be 28 coming off of another season in Seattle. Did I say Cleveland for him? Coming off a season in Seattle. They're probably re-signing him there. He's played well.
Smart.
They're probably re-signing him there. You had a chance to get him. Now they're not going to let him go.
Yep.
Coleman Shelton is available.
No, what?
He is.
What?
Oh, Nick Harris, who's the center in Seattle that maybe I was thinking of there, 25 years old. There's not a great value there. Let's look at left tackles coming out next season for free agency to go big game hunting. Cam Robinson, he's about to be 30. He's making $18 million. Could have had him in a trade. Could have at least seen what he looks like. Didn't want to trade for him. I bet. Garrett Bowles out of Denver. He's 32. Ronnie Staley out of Baltimore. He's 30. So now you're going big game hunting every left tackle until you get to Jalen Moore, who's not getting away from Seattle, by the way. From San Francisco, is 30 plus. So there is no big game hunting. There is no money to spend. The season for you to talk about going out and getting guys that were going to be able to play the position was this year. and you didn't do it. So now you're going, like when people are like, your first 3 draft picks have to be offensive line. Yeah. No, duh.
Sure. So
We ain't got no choice.
Yeah,
For sure.
it goes back to trusting if Ryan Poles can evaluate the position he played, and that's where we've been kind of questioning is he blind to the fact that he can't even pick the guys that he probably should know the most about, which is linemen. Which is why I said it's important that we keep those frontline picks instead of at the trade deadline we release them for whoever we could have gotten, maybe a Wyatt Teller or whatever, or Scherf. My thing is, I don't trust Ryan Poles with getting linemen later in the draft. I at least am a little bit okay with him drafting the players that are in the first couple of rounds.
Right, don't look that good, but
I think that's a product of the line. I'll be honest. I'll give him a year. I'll give him a little bit of grace with that. I really do think Darnell Wright is better than what he's shown. Because he looked like he was going to hit out of his rookie year. But my thing is, you give Ryan Poles as many picks in those first couple of rounds to get this right, because I really don't trust him anywhere past maybe even the 3rd round with that.
I do personally.
That's how critical this is.
I feel like he's in a situation where, like, I hear the ages and stuff like that, but you're just gonna have to do it. Like, I get that no one typically pays that much for those guys, but those guys are on teams and they're getting those contracts, and they're going to be on an NFL team, and they're going to get those contracts. Man.
Yeah, but here's the problem, kid. Cam Robinson probably will be available. That may be somebody you can go out there and sign. I'm not that's one
Christian's going to come back,
be able to do, because Christian Darrisaw end up coming back.
Yeah,
Poles probably ain't going nowhere. They're not just going to flip out their left tackle. They'll probably try and sign him to a lower year deal, even though he's older, just because you got Bo Nix over there. I can't just say F the kid. At least they got common sense over there. Ronnie Staley's not leaving. Ronnie Staley's protecting Lamar's left side. He ain't going nowhere. They may draft some people, like the names that we're talking about aren't leaving the teams, or if they are over the hill, right? Like, even at the center position, you're not talking about guys that are probably leaving their teams. You're not moving on from Connor Williams if you're Seattle. In my book, you're not moving on from Ryan Kelly, especially because you got to go out and you basically, for lack of a better term, screwed the pooch. Shut up. With I can't even think of the goddamn, with Anthony Richardson. And so you got to figure out a quarterback now. You can't put him back in.
I'm trying to fight through that one.
All right, anyway. Back in. You know what I mean? So I think there's all of these guys that you're going to look at and say they probably end up back with their team.
I think M asked a real question. In reality, who's walking, who's not resigning, who's testing free agency realistically? I think anyone on that list that you named that tests free agent, Bears need to be in that conversation. You need to be in that conversation. Here's the thing.
Yeah, you do.
We can say all the time. We can say as much as we want. Well, they're over the hill. They're this, they're that. What are your options? Your options is to run draft it back what you have, or draft a whole new line, which you have a rookie line now. Welcome to the NFL. Now my quarterback's still getting smacked upside the head. Guess what? You need veterans on that line. So you have to spend the money. We can't just say, well, don't do that. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense typically when you got options. When you ain't got options, this is what makes sense.
At the left tackle position, I'm not gonna lie, as gross as it is, if my options is sign an over the hill left tackle to a contract that he don't deserve, or keep Braxton Jones. Keep Braxton Jones.
That's why you're not GM, dog.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
No, because here's the thing. Over the hill means you're gonna play like Braxton Jones, but I gotta pay you like you're not.
I'm gonna see what's up with David Bakhtiari. I know that's a sin, but
over to him. I mean, ain't nobody touching him. As much offensive line as there's problems in this league, ain't nobody touching him. Somebody knows something. That man called somebody an N-word. I'm joking. I don't know.
He ain't got a job yet.
Hey, they wouldn't care about that. If he could play, they wouldn't care.
He could play
it. Who was old boy? That was like a star. He was a starting center, I think he was. And they had him like on video in training camp calling him up
Incognito.
Was it Richie Incognito? Yeah. They were like, wow, wait a minute, wow.
Yeah.
But he can snap that football and get after it.
Give him a week off.
My thing is, you put yourself in a position where your options are bargain bin.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a position where your options are bottom of the barrel. And so kind of getting back to where the conversation started here with Shane Waldron and all of those guys, like, I don't expect change because this is the team you have. I don't expect change because this is the organization that you have. This is the mindset. And it starts at the top. You have a president of football operations who has a beautiful piece of land in Arlington, but for some reason, I don't know if y'all saw this today, he wants to go back out was it Bronzeville?
I saw that. Yeah. The hospital area.
What the
Reese.
Good enough. You have a GM who thinks that you could basically put potato salad out in front of your quarterback and he's going to be able to develop this season. Good enough. You have a head coach who literally told a quarterback last season that you had in the building, hey, your number is 200, 2 touchdowns, 0 fumbles, 0 interceptions. Justin Fields was able to do all of that. And he's like, well, he's accomplishing the goal. Coach, we needed 4 touchdowns.
I'm going to say this. The Michael Reese area is not a bad idea. We can have that conversation.
I think he was going to say that.
No. Seriously, it's not a bad idea. If you want to, it solves 2 things for the Bears and everyone.
Keeps them in the city. Yes,
keeps them in the city. You own your own stadium, and you're not that far from where it all started. On top of that, they can expand that parking area totally different. It does make sense.
Hey, listen. At least there's parking, but you can't build as big of a stadium. Stadium will be around like 50,000 over there, so you're losing 10,000 more seats when you already with the new stadium you took out 20,000 seats. Now those last 20,000 was nuts. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, I think my dad took me to. He take me to one game. He better no, probably not.
Them seats were so high and
dangerous, bro. Dangerous seats up there, bro. Dangerous seats.
I see people say no Super Bowl. You can build a retractable dome and you're staying on the lakefront.
Yeah, but you're losing. But no Super Bowl because you're not gonna have enough seats.
Oh, you got to be 70,000.
The minimum requirement for the Super Bowl is 80,000 seats.
80,000,
70,000, whatever it is.
So I was 70K. Either way, it's more than what they can
build. Either way, here's the problem. Even the stadium they're trying to build downtown is freaking. They were finagling the seats in there. They were like, well, we could put 15,000 seats outside. It's February. What, you gonna kill them? You gonna kill all them people? Yeah, sit out here, watch the Super Bowl, have a great time. It's for the common folk. I whoop you. Anyway,
all the technical stuff. Draper and Kramer would love that deal for all that property over there. Just letting you know.
Hey man, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Do you feel like the Chicago Bears can turn their season around after firing Shane Waldron? I say no. Kid, did you say yes? I don't know if anybody said yes. I think it was.
I think it's simplified. It will simplify the game for him, but I think it's just a short term fix. It doesn't help the main issue, which is still going to be offensive line. Offensive line is still going to be the biggest.
One thing, if Thomas Brown, I'll say this. If Thomas Brown can fix one thing with this team, get Caleb to be okay taking the short pass.
Check down.
If you can get him to do that, if you can get him to focus on that, and I'm talking about, and I thought Jeff Saturday said this well today. While I do believe that Caleb Williams is holding the football too long, and I think it's getting worse. He listen, watch him. It's becoming Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally becoming Justin
hesitation
Fields.
is crazy.
Which, by the way, go watch rookie year Justin Fields early on. Watch how he was throwing that ball. Then watch him in year 3. Think we won't break this kid. Think we won't destroy this kid's psyche. Y'all go watch him how he was slinging that thing early on, and then by the time he gets to year 3,
Hey, hopefully they don't change mechanics.
He's like a blind man reading a scary book in Braille.
Changing.
That was the one thing I hated Getsy for.
Hey, but if you can get Caleb Williams to buy in with right now, until I get this line, I need to take the short passes. I think that your season, I don't know if it gets back on track, but I think it moves to a point offensively where you feel like Caleb Williams is developing?
Man.
That's all you can hope for this season. You ain't making the playoffs unless you run the table.
This is like the water in the desert. It's a mirage.
Oh, I
it's a mirage.
Thought he was about to say it's yellow.
Oh no. Well,
that's what it feels like to me. It's like, oh, I found water. Oh,
what?
this ain't water.
Oh, God, what is this? Who's been here already? No, water's not existent.
Winning cures all, though. I say this: we beat the Packers. If we win these next 2 games, this whole conversation.
I want to set this precedent right now. I want y'all. I bet not see none of y'all in here losing y'all mind over Thomas Brown if they find a way to beat the Packers. I bet not see not one person in here just, oh, he's the answer. He's the answer. We had him all along. I will strike you.
Unless they win like astronomically, right?
Nah.
If they win like
Thomas
45
Brown,
to 10.
If he gets this offense to start cooking, he would have earned the right.
I'm not getting my hopes back up.
I'm not going to say that he would be the long term.
I don't want to either, bro. I don't want to either because that's the same thing I said about.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to dominate, and then you got, what is it, Detroit next week, the week right after that? We're going to be like, we can do it. We beat them last year. We got the team. Oh, God, 60-3. What happened?
That's why I said the next 2 games.
Yeah.
If we win the next 2 games,
screaming everywhere.
We gonna end up looking like god dang end up looking like Cell when Gohan hit him with the father male wave. No.
Dude, eviscerated.
God, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's keep this thing moving along, man, because I think this is a conversation that we do need to have on the
Hey, Joe.
On the Chicago Bears, man. Bro, how does Flus keep surviving? This is the greatest. Bro, it's got to be the Illuminati, bro. The Illuminati
absolutely.
Has to be a part of this in some way. Fam, since Matt Eberflus has been here, in the last calendar year, he has fired 2 offensive coordinators, one of which was fired again this year. A month ago, there have been 2 offensive coordinators in the NFL that have been fired this season. Both of them have been employed by the Chicago Bears over the last 8 months. The decision-making with 8 different coordinators having to have been fired under his regime. The fact that he is 0-18 on the road on Sunday. I don't know if anybody's watched football before, but usually you play the game on Sunday. The fact that he has cost this team legitimately 5 games by playing the same conservative football style that may be killing this team right now.
You all right over there, PK?
How does he keep surviving?
it keeps getting worse. I thought you was gonna stop for a second.
Oh God, no.
Dang.
Bro, hey, Nova, I saw the meme too. The meme with in the Batman movie, not the meme, but the video. In the Batman movie, when Bane turns the old boy and goes, they will expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. That is Shane Waldron today. That is Luke Getsy just dying in the plane on the way down as Matt Eberflus parachutes out and gets caught by a freaking rocket ship on the way up. Like, I cannot believe that this dude keeps surviving.
Yeah.
It's like the dude in the zombie apocalypse that shoots old boy in the knee and goes, I don't know what happened to him. I didn't see it.
Bro, I know how he keeps surviving.
Yeah.
Our defense is still ranked top 10 and has been consistently. And he's a defensive coach. And that's the only thing that's been the linchpin of the Chicago Bears for 40 years.
Can you lean on that though when the defense is starting to not play for you?
I don't know if you can lean. I don't know if you can lean on that when your team is not right. Because listen, if he's the DC, I get you, and he is. But if you the head coach, your team is not ranked top 10. Your team ain't ranked top 20.
Hey, Pat.
Your team can't fight back.
You said it best. If he's still giving interviews on Monday, he's still here.
Oh, he ain't
But
going
he should
nowhere.
have been fired 2 games ago.
That's not what they do. You know the organization is mom and pop.
Hey,
No,
dog. Maybe we should do something different.
They just fired for the first time ever. I don't know if people know this. This is the first time an offensive coordinator has ever been fired in season.
Well, why didn't they finish the job?
You just took the badge of honor, basically rubbed it in a little cow manure, and then stuck it back on your chest, and it still says, but never fired a head coach in season. It still smell like the hits principle.
It smells like the hits principle. I do think he's done. I do think he's done.
Jesus Christ, Dennis.
I do think that he's no longer going to be employed by the Chicago Bears after this season. But for whatever reason, again, you could call it, say what you want. They never did it in 40 years. I don't understand that principle, but I don't expect him to be here because at this point, we would really be calling for Poe's head at that point.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. And this is my fear. This really is my fear. Say Thomas Brown gets the most out of Caleb. Because the one thing that I do think could happen is there's a relationship already there. He was done with Shane. Mm-hmm. The players were done with Shane on the offense. They went to Matt Eberflus. We got that report today as well, that they went to Matt Eberflus and like, he got to go. I believe Shane Waldron was Fred Hoiberg. I don't think Shane Waldron can't coach. I've seen he had a top 10 offense in Seattle. You don't just go from he was calling the top 10 offense. He didn't forget how offense works. I think that Shane is Fred Hoiberg. And we have a team that if you don't hold them accountable, if you don't force them to do some of the extra work, which maybe that's not a good environment to be in either, then everybody won't do the extra work.
That's a head coach thing.
That's a head coach thing. It's an offensive coordinator thing. It's a coaching thing in general.
Yeah.
Like your culture, you're going to say, hey, y'all got to make sure that you're putting in your extra work. Cole Kmet said it. Jalen Johnson said it. DJ Moore said it. Everybody's going, Jalen Johnson didn't even let who was it? Was it Lawrence Holmes? Didn't even let him finish the question. He was like, do you have guys who don't pray? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these mugs suck. He didn't say that part. I'm paraphrasing.
He said he was thinking about that question for a long time. They've been dealing with that forever.
And that's one of those things that it's just like, I think that they went to Shane very similar to how Jimmy went to Fred and was like, hey, I need you to coach for real. Mm-hmm. And they were like, I am. And I think that you can get the most out of people for a little while, but eventually you go back to who you are. I really think that 3 weeks with Shane probably coaching his hardest.
That's a bar.
And then on the last 3 weeks,
talking about Noah,
you go back to who you are.
Yep.
That's a bar.
But that was in the article that I had mentioned. But go ahead, PK. I don't know. If
no. Finish. It's your point. Go ahead.
No, that was in the article I saw. You just talked about him being over top 10 offense in Seattle. But could it have been masked by the fact that you had a legendary coach in the room already that people respected and pretty much were heralding because he was a winning coach on the NFL level and he was a winning coach at USC. Like he had the resume. So was that masking some of Shane Waldron's inefficiencies? Then when he's ready to leave, you got people like Emmanuel Acho saying on the facility, I believe it's called, and saying that he got a text from a former star player off Seattle saying that, hey, this guy was trash. We couldn't wait for him to get out the building. You got people like Jackson Smith and Jigma saying good luck. Like, there's telltale signs that Shane Waldron probably, he got a little bit more credit than he probably should have, just like Matt Nagy.
I mean, who else is calling offense over there? Ain't nobody else calling offense. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't misuse dudes. Hey, look, Pete don't call offense. He called the defense.
You don't think he had like a little bit of sway in what was being done?
I think Pete probably told him, hey, run the football a little more every now and then. Okay. But I mean, he's the head coach. He's got sway. That's why I think that our offense won't be fixed because I think Matt Eberflus has sway. But
yeah,
it's not somebody else calling the offense for him.
No, I think the point being made was when you have someone of that pedigree who's also not afraid to get you up out of here.
They had more respect in the room than you do with Flus.
Now you're going to try to execute these plays a lot more than you would in a situation where you don't have that type of leeway. Because hey, Pete Carroll would definitely get people up out that room, and we saw him do it. If it can happen to Russ, it can happen to anybody. It's like realistic. If the situation with Russ can get that sour, and they be like, all right, go ahead. I mean, Russ was a Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. What's your resume? Like anybody else is like, hey, you want smoke too? like you could go. And I think that's what it is. Like
Russ,
I'm not saying it, I don't know for sure, but it would make sense.
That's different though. Russ got to a point where his teammates was like,
he became a cancer.
With you.
Yeah.
Like he got to get to that point. It's like y'all can take this dude with you. Like we'll find a way to win. We'll figure it out. But no, I just listen. I think here's the thing for me. Like when I look at your future with this team, I can't tell you that Flus ain't still the guy. I can't tell you that if they find a way to win, if Thomas Brown finds a way to settle down Caleb Williams, and listen, if the offense is able to put up 21 points, we're going to win more games than not.
That's a fact.
That's a low bar.
Solid.
That's crazy.
If you put up 21 to 24 points, you're going to win more games than not. If he can get it back to mediocre offense, that's not great offense, mediocre offense.
Yeah.
You're kind of in a situation where you're probably going to have some successes. I'm not saying you're going to run the table. I'm not saying you're going to dominate the division, but can I see them getting to 8 wins?
That's crazy.
You get the 8 wins. You get the 9 wins. I guarantee you we're sitting there going, it's a absolute guarantee that Flus is fired. And we're going to get the day 2 of the offseason, and we're going to be behind on all the hires because he's not going to want to fire Matt Eberflus because you're still moving in the right direction. Good enough. He's good enough. He's stable. What did we hear last season, boys? He stabilized the ship.
Yeah.
He stabilized the ship. It was rocky. You lost 3 games. It got ugly. He stabilized the ship. It's the same thing we heard from Matt Nagy, why he got to come back all 3 years. Remember Matt Nagy would lose like 6 games in a row?
Then go on a little streak.
And then win 6 games in a row. And you'd be like, but he's back. And you're like, oh, he's back. I just think we got a better part of the schedule. Like it's sad to say, but it is concerning to me that I don't have the confidence in Ryan Poles. I still have confidence in Ryan Poles as far as going out and finding pieces in the draft. I do. I think you found pieces in the draft. I think Caleb's a piece. I think that Rome is a piece. I think that Austin Booker is a piece. I think you found pieces in the draft. And Torrey Taylor's a piece.
Torrey Taylor's a piece.
Torrey Taylor's a piece. I don't like it, but he was kind of trash on Sunday, but
there's a couple bad punts.
Torrey Taylor's a piece, right? Like, I think you found pieces in the draft. The problem is you're not willing to go for the best of the best to make those pieces be the best that they can be. That's concerning. And heck, it may go above Kevin Warren. Maybe it's a George McCaskey thing. I don't know. Maybe it's Virginia.
Torrey Taylor has more punts than Cole Kmet has receptions by a mile.
Oh, I could have told you that.
Torrey Taylor has more punt yards than Caleb Williams has thrown.
Well, yeah.
We're not going to be punting much. Paul with the super chat said, best case, Caleb looks better, but we lose out and Flus is gone, plus high first-round draft pick.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, that honestly, because, like, I'll say this. Best case scenario, and this sucks to say, this is a gut punch. Best case scenario, you still compete in the division, but you lose both games to the Packers. You lose both games to the Packers. He's never beaten the Packers in his career. He's probably out then.
So you think if it's the other way around and we lose to every other team but the Packers, they somehow have to
if we lose every other team but the Packers, his record would be terrible.
No, I'm saying in the division. So we're 0-4 against
if you lose to every other
Detroit.
team but the Packers, his record in the division will be 2-4.
Right, but
his record would be terrible. So then you can move on from him. Oh, you
Okay,
say you think they keep? They might.
Yeah, right, because of the
He
Green
beats
Bay.
the Packers. I said, hey,
allure.
look, I can't put it past him. He beats the Packers 2 games. You beat the Rams. You beat the 49ers. You beat Seattle.
That's insane.
Because you finished the season with 2 wins in that scenario. What would you be? 8-9?
You finished the season 4-4. So you're
8-9. He's back.
Yeah, 8-9. Yeah.
8-9. He's back. If that scenario plays out, 8-9. He's back.
Just
I
lose.
guarantee it.
Just lose every game.
I guarantee.
I think this is just the year of having unqualified people in some of the most prominent positions.
The year.
That's every year.
The year.
That's every year.
No, I'm just saying, like, hey,
How long have you been watching this team?
We're
it
running
ain't just the
this
team.
so
I mean,
back.
the country just hired somebody that's not qualified.
Oh,
For the job. I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, they ran that back too.
Hey, ran that back. Hey, man got whole felony charges.
Hey, bro said 8-8. I'm back, baby.
No.
One of the greatest teams of all time. I'm in the game. I'd have gave Marshawn the ball on the 1.
Really good football team.
Let's finish it out here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We did hear this about the Chicago Bears players on the team, which, listen, this is a very outspoken team. This may be the most outspoken team I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know if I'm upset by that, but it does feel like it's something that probably does not work long term. It feels like some toes may end up getting stepped on. But the fact that we heard that players have asked that Caleb Williams maybe be benched for Tyson Bagent. For all the Bagent fans in there, where's TBL12 or whatever he is? He's running
TB17.
It is. He finna come. Oh yeah, it is that, ain't it? Dang, Tyson Bagent. I swear this whole time I've been like, what the heck? He's got Tom Brady 17. I'm dumb. Shut up. But no, listen, is that concerning to you? Is that something that concerns you that there are players on the team? Now, I was listening to Waddle and Sylvie a little bit later in the day. Marc Silverman is the one who reported this. I was listening later in the day. He said that Mercedes Lewis may have been one of the players that asked. But he doesn't know the specifics, but that there are certain players who probably are on the offensive side of the football that probably are impact players. Maybe DJ Moore's in there, maybe not. We've seen some of the body language issues that people have had with DJ Moore. Is that concerning to you about where the team is at?
I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, it all comes down to who it is that said this. If it's Mercedes Lewis, I understand he's one of the captains of the team. He's a guy that has played a long time in this league. He knows what he sees. But I mean, you can kind of go sit back over on the sideline with your penalized tail. Like I'm good. I'm good. Every time you come into the game, you're either not blocking.
I don't think he got one on Sunday, actually.
Or you had flag. Yeah, well, but is he impact? No, come on. He's very low impact. So if you told me that DJ Moore was the guy that said, you know what, hey, that goes back all the way to the week when we saw the body language and he's walking past Tyson and we're wondering, well, what is he saying? Is he saying, hey, man, you need to get up in there right now?
Yeah,
help me save
that back, Tyson. I need you, dog. That's what they were saying. He was saying, which I don't know if I read that off of reading his lips, but
yeah, lip sync. I didn't pick up on that either.
But
the
blind guys. Not blind, deaf. Oh, that was the wrong one. Blind guy wouldn't be able to see that, would he?
Yeah. But I don't know. Again, it goes back to who it is that legitimately is thinking that Caleb maybe needs to take a timeout and get replaced by Bagent. Me, obviously, know that's not good for his development. You still have to have him out there to just try to get through this season. We don't want to get him killed, but that doesn't mean that I think he's going to learn better by being on the sideline and then allowing, let's just say, Bagent to thrive. What if he thrives under Thomas Brown? Now the question is, do we need to get rid of Caleb and keep Tyson going for it? No, you don't want that insanity of a discussion. So,
hey, I will say this. I did think this. If it was because Mercedes Lewis ain't somebody to be like, I got to come for your job. He's also not somebody that at this point in his career is going to be like, at least he don't seem like it from meeting him and talking with him. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's like, hey, this kid ain't it. Even though he's a rookie, you should definitely like get him out of there because he's a bust. I do wonder if it's like, bro, he's gonna die. He's not ready. Like we've caused him to regress. He probably needs to sit and let somebody who knows what they're looking at get out there. I did wonder that. That
That's actually
sounds
much
more
better
like
thought.
something Mercedes would say
Okay,
than like
okay.
this kid sucks. He needs to be benched. He's a bust. Like I think that's kind of where people go. That's the tough part about getting this report, right? You get to read in the way you want it to read in your head.
Right. True.
But realistically, at the end of the day, you bench Caleb Williams, it's done. This is the only decision Matt Eberflus has made over the last 2 years that I agree with.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is our quarterback moving forward. Here we go. Shout out Go Blue with the $10 super chat. He said, if the OC does halfway well and Flus is fired, is the OC still valid to keep his job while they search for a head coach, knowing the head coach wants his own staff? I threw this pie in the sky scenario out there. They were not thrilled on ESPN. They thought this was a dumb scenario. But realistically, based on the report that we had heard that, they don't want to go after somebody who's a big name, and you're probably not getting anybody to sign up here because they can't bring their own staff with them. If Thomas Brown makes it work, and I mean makes it work well with Caleb Williams the rest of the year, he was an assistant head coach in LA. Is that somebody that you look at and say, we're going to move on from Matt Eberflus, we're naming Thomas Brown the head coach of the team moving forward, we're going to sign him to a new contract, blah, blah, blah. You get him in there cheap. It's a very Bears move. It felt what EO said. He's like, Bears move. He's like, what is this, Jerry Reinsdorf? It's a Reinsdorf move, bro. It's a White Sox move. Mm-hmm. But Crimson said, I'm heading out. If that happens, he's heading out. I ain't mad at it. But no, I just like it, and what I'm saying is the situation is like he gets Caleb cooking. Mm-hmm. He gets all the answers out of him. It's a very tough call to me to say, hey, I got this kid cooking. Now I'm going to get rid of the OC that got him cooking because I'm going to fire Flus.
That's fair.
But like I said, if he gets Caleb cooking, Flus probably sticks around.
No. Oh, my goodness. Why can't you just have one without the other?
You can't. You can't.
I think it's very fair to make the assumption that the OC would probably get another shot at it with the new HC, because who wants to come into a situation where it's like, all right, this kid is in a whole, has another voice in his ear and things of that nature, and you be blamed for ruining that kid. The new HC, like whoever the new HC is going to be, is in a bad situation already. Like you come in and you clean house, and the team looks worse for a while, they're already going to be calling for your head.
No, you're assuming Thomas Brown is sticking around to be the OC. Thomas Brown is getting head coaching interviews every year. He ain't got one yet. Don't mean he ain't never going to get one. And I'll tell you what helps you get head coaching jobs real quick? Fixing the quarterback of the Bears. Adam Gase made Jay Cutler look moderately better. Actually, he did look a lot better. I'm not going to say moderately. He looked a lot better. Adam Gase got 2 head coaching jobs. He sucked at both of them. He got 2 head coaching jobs out of it. He got the Dolphins and the Jets. They were like, nah, maybe it was just the Dolphins. Maybe. Paul with the super chat said, DJ definitely said something. LOL. Caleb is making him look like he's sorry. More always produce and probably commit. I don't know who said something. With the one name that I heard Sylvie say was that he believed it could have been Mercedes Lewis, but he also said that he didn't know, specifically who it was. But listen, it's an outspoken team. We have had the same 4 or 5 guys speaking publicly about the struggles of this team. Wouldn't surprise me if it was one of them. Wouldn't surprise me if it was Jalen or Kevin. It wouldn't surprise me if it's one of the defensive guys going, I'm tired. I have intercepted this football 16 times.
Do something with it.
Keeps giving it back.
Hey, here's a twist. Would you be surprised if it was Caleb? I need a break. I need a break. I'm tied up.
Hey,
Anthony Richardson. Hey,
dog, sit me down, bro. Hey, I love that Muzza, like, because you benched him, you can never go back to this kid. Bro, who want to go back to this kid? You will never get him in a locker room again, and they will feel like he's a leader. He effed his whole career up. Whole career. Mm-hmm. He will never be viewed as a leader again. You're on the goal line on 3rd and 1, and you pulled yourself out the game?
I'm tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired was hilarious. His
That's
whole
ridiculous.
career done. What locker room you gonna walk in and they gonna rock with you?
Has he played since then?
No, Flacco.
Flacco got the starting gig since I think he got back in because there were some injuries.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I
I
didn't
think
see
he
the
got
end of the
back in
game.
because there were some injuries, and then he went back out there. Johnny Water said, "Pat, he was tired." Listen,
I think
Cam Newton said the same. Cam Newton looked at him. He said, "You don't get to be tired."
Hey, no, I think I saw something where people are apologizing because they got more information on that. I vaguely remember seeing something like that. Like it was something about like he couldn't breathe or something like that.
Couldn't breathe because he wasn't conditioned right.
I mean,
Oh,
whatever
man,
the situation is, like if
look,
you can't breathe, I can understand you like.
Hey, son, you mean can't breathe? Like I just ran a lot and I'm not in shape.
Hey, dog, I don't know.
Well, you mean like
I just vaguely
life-threatening?
remember something like that. I could be wrong.
Maybe he has asthma. You better keep that pump in that back pocket.
Hey,
You don't get to call it. You don't get to take yourself out the game, dog.
I gotta go. I'm gonna research that one and have it for the what's the name? I just remember that like people were apologizing to him for something. I'm like, what they apologizing?
I don't remember nobody apologizing. I remember Cam Newton going, "You did what?" He said, "No." The best part was when he said, what was it? It was like fourth down. Like what happened? He said, I think it was like 2nd and 1. He said,
And you better call this run play and this ball.
Oh no, bro, you better do something. Fall over.
Hey, was it Cam that said this? Hey, I'm about to audible to this run play, so I can get some rest.
You know what I mean?
I'm about to pitch this joint. I'm not gonna do nothing else.
Snap the football and lay down and pull a hammy real quick. Something, figure something out. You can't pull yourself out the game. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're gonna get up out of here. That was funny, man. Let us know your thoughts on any of the topics that we talked about today, man. Do you feel like there's real change coming to the Chicago Bears? I'm nervous, but we'll see on Sunday. Thomas Brown don't get a break. He gets thrown directly into the fire. Let's hope it's not a cook show out here.
Imagine your first game as OC being against your divisional rivals and they've been smacking people.
Jesus.
Now the one thing is he gonna get some bites at the apple.
Yeah, I'd be like,
he gonna get a lot of bites at the apple to make his system work because Jordan Love gonna throw that football away.
Yep.
But boy,
he could look real good or real bad.
That Green Bay defense take the football away too. You got to be careful with them, man.
Vivian McKinney.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love, man. For the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
Hey, Don Quixote, ain't nothing wrong with Woody and Buzz.
You almost made it.
Almost made
it.
I did it on purpose because he said we did.
Hey, if he had a bet on that one, he just lost
99% of the show.
You messed up my prize pick.
The over under.
Is that a bet? Is that a thing now? Are we getting bet on for pauses in a show?
How many flags are they gonna get today?
Hey.
Oh man.
Yo.